Hey everybody, Matt Stout here, the STR loan guy. Interest rates are the lowest they've been since 2022, and what better way to show you than to illustrate this awesome potential for an Airbnb that I found. So this is a killer property. Look at the pool on this thing. The sales price is really good. I love some of these markets where the prices are lower. And when I first pulled this up, I wasn't that interested in it. It's only going to do 52,000 as is. But look at that. There's a property right here with a pool that's doing 109,000. None of these other ones have a pool. So what does that tell me? Well, if you've got a pool in this market, you really have a chance to shine. But this property here, this competitor, they've got room for 16 guests and an extra bedroom. So how would I be able to compete with this 4-bedroom property with make it as good or even better than this 5-bedroom property? And sometimes there's some little things that people don't think about that you could do. Now if you look at the photos on this, the floor plan, there's a 3-car garage, which is awesome. If I was living there with all my cars, I'd love this house, but I'm not going to be living there. This is an STR. I don't need a 3-car garage. So you could either switch up the game room that they've got here into another bedroom, or maybe convert one of these spaces in the garage into a game room bedroom combo and get those extra occupants. So once you do that, you're putting yourself into a whole other category of comp where you'd be the leader of the market, and you'd also be one of the only pool homes in this destination near Houston. So, what does that look like from a financing perspective? Rates are down. We're seeing some rates as much as 0.5% better in rate than they were just last year. And this particular program is an STR DSCR product. This is shown as a 5-year ARM, which means it's fixed for 5 years and then it can go up. But if you don't like that, the 30-year fixed isn't far off at 6.75. So all we would do is we would take that income to qualify, divide it by 12 after we take a 20% adjustment, and we come up with a gross revenue of about 3513. As long as that mortgage payment hits under that, you qualify. We divide the revenue by the payment, and we come up with what's called a debt service coverage ratio, and that's it. This one's just barely over 1.0, which is all we need to qualify, but that's okay. It looks good, it works, why not? And there's other ways we could underwrite it too if we had to. So at the end of the day, what does this loan look like? Well, at 6.4, you'd be looking at a payment of roughly $3483, maybe $3700 if you wanted a fixed rate, somewhere in that ballpark. This is with 20% down, so you need 114,000 bones to make this deal work. Now, if that's too rich for you, the second home option is always an option, but that requires 10% down. The only difference is with an STR DSCR product, I don't need any personal income to qualify. You could close in an LLC. We would just go straight off of this rentalizer report and you're done. I need proof of down payment and ID and we're good to go. Now, if you do have a lot of income, maybe you're buying an STR for tax reasons, you could probably qualify for this house payment with just 10% down, which would save you some cash. You'd only need about 93,000 down. The interest rate's a little bit higher, but there's no prepayment penalty. Of course, the payment's higher with only 10% down because you financed about 23,000 more, 24,000 more than you did with 20% down. So you definitely want to make sure the thing would cash flow, but that is an option if you're trying to preserve your cash or get the highest cash on cash revenue. Now let's talk about revenue. This thing is going to do 22%, which is huge if you can get it up into the 100% range. I had a calculator open, but you get the idea. If you take the revenue, if you're in 110,000-ish, and you divide it by the sales price, you're well over 20% ROI on this thing, and that's good. A lot of people are happy with just 15%. So I think this property could be a winner. Now, is it for sure a good deal? I don't know. I just thought I would show you something that I just happened to run across. There's definitely a lot to be said about having the best people help you find the best short-term rental. There's a lot of things that you may think you know that you don't know, and you definitely want to make sure you get some extra eyes on this thing, because at the end of the day, you don't want to buy the wrong thing. So if you want to get some advice, I'm dangerously knowledgeable about all this stuff. I definitely know a lot about the loans. I'm not the pro at finding properties. We have people that can help you do that with STR Insights, and they're definitely pros at finding the awesome finds out there. They can give you some consultation on what's a good deal. They can even find a deal for you if that's what you want. Now, if you just want to get pre-approved for financing, click the link below my signature. It's going to take you right into my calendar. We can definitely get you pre-approved for the right options at the right time. Hope that helps, and I look forward to talking to you soon. And by any means, make this moment a great one. Thanks.